I wanted to talk about a little bit of an outline of pre-exercise, during exercise, post-exercise fueling. Now, this is something that a lot of performers have issues with, and even just everyday exercisers have issues with too. So just going through some recommendations about what you can do for pre, during, and post. First of all, for pre-exercise, you want to at least 3 to 4 hours before your larger exercise bout, whether it's even training or competition or even performance, but any type of larger performance, you can have a larger meal. We want that to be carbohydrate and protein focused. About 30 minutes before activity, you can then have a smaller snack, again, carbohydrate focused, low in fiber and low in fat. The biggest reason why those parameters is to decrease any risk of stomach upset during your activity. While you're exercising, if you're exercising for longer than 60 minutes, you need to supplement with carbohydrates, whether that's eating or drinking. If it's less than the 60 minutes, you can usually get away with water, okay? But you also need to keep in mind if it's hot outside that we are looking at electrolyte levels too, okay? For any exercise and you want to try to have some of those drinks that have a little bit of carbs, have some electrolytes, it's recommended about 6 to 8% of carbohydrate solution, and it tends to be with a lot of sports drinks, but you need to look at how many grams of sugar, how many carbs that they are. I'd really recommend against anything that has an artificial sweetener because those can actually cause some GI upset as well, okay? Now, if you are exercising and let's say that you're going out for anything, like I said, that 45 to 75 minute time frame, that yes, you do need to have, like, whether you're sipping or even rinsing your mouth out with a carbohydrate solution. If you're doing anywhere from the 1 to 2.5 hour bouts, then it's good to have about 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates every hour. If you're doing longer than the 2.5 hours, you need to be able to have 90 grams per hour of carbohydrates. After activity, we're looking at things like trying to have protein supplementation. Protein can be really helpful to be able to have amino acids to rebuild, repair any of the muscles that we may have worked, but then even to carbohydrates, again, to be able to replenish our energy stores for the next bout of activity. Now, for ideas for this, carbohydrate foods and snacks to consider include things like peanut butter sandwich, yogurt, banana, different energy bars, different pretzels or crackers, endurance gummies or gels can be helpful too. I know I have a bit of a partial love of sport beans made by the makers of Jelly Belly. I also tend to go more for Gatorade. I have a specific flavor that I like too. And then even sometimes I have these little salt tabs and stuff that I use too. Again, with my own GI history, fruit smoothies, whole grain bagels, crackers, sports drink, any of that, or diluted juice. Now you have to, if there's any people that have issues or concerns with like any gluten allergies or sensitivities, any lactose allergies or sensitivities, all of that, you definitely need to look at considerations, or you're vegetarian or vegan. And if you have any questions or concerns about that, please let me know. I'm happy to put you in contact with any registered dietitian that may be able to help better serve you to come up with some recommendations for post-workout activities, some good ideas. Again, we just kind of mentioned, but also some cottage cheese, fruit, turkey, and anything that's like a lower fat, but also high protein can be really helpful. Some vegetables, getting that combination of protein and carbs, and then making sure that our body can handle it too, that it's not too heavy. So hopefully these helped you with some recommendations. And again, feel free to post comments and message me if you'd like any further advice. Thanks so much for joining.